things on Earth are not as dark as they appear. Enormous changes are in progress, as you well know, and as these are implemented they are causing a certain amount of disturbance and confusion in the planetary economic and political fields. It appears to many of you that you are on an extremely fast roller coaster ride that is out of control and in danger of crashing. Hold on to your hats, as you remind yourselves yet again that God's divine plan is unfolding exactly as He intends. All you have to do, and you do have to do it, is intend to be loving in every moment and in every situation. Do not allow fear to distract you from this, because it is a major part of your life's earthly purpose. Just keep briefly renewing that intention throughout the day while standing in line, waiting for the lights to change, or at any other moment when you are momentarily unoccupied with the business of daily living. Those very brief moments spent renewing your intent are far more powerful and effective than you can be aware of, so remind yourselves of that as well. Love is the energy, the power, the life force that permeates all of God's divine creation. It is all that exists, and therefore every sentient being, every conscious entity is an inseparable and eternal part of that. To be loving in every moment means honoring and respecting all life. As humans, in an illusory world of fear, pain, suffering, and death, in which you are always seeking pleasure, or at least safety and the relief from pain and if possible, to eradicate death, you are engaged in the game of separation from Source. It seems to have been ongoing for billions of years, and yet now your science is beginning to understand that time is unreal, a concept that works inordinately well in the game that you are involved with, but which is nevertheless unreal. While playing this game, lessons are presented to you, lessons that you chose to learn before incarnating on Earth as humans, and frequently they appear to make no sense at all. How many times have you asked yourselves, what is this supposed to be teaching me? Well, of course the answer is love. But in the unstable and threatening environment that the world provides, it seems far more sensible to be fearful and construct defenses, psychological, emotional, physical, and even military, to keep you safe. Whereas to be loving is often considered unwise or naive because it appears to lead inevitably to abuse and betrayal in what many of you consider to be a dog-eat-dog world. But what the vast majority want, in fact what all sentient beings desire more than anything else, is to be loved, and of course that is what you desire because love is your natural state. Deep within yourselves you know this because deep within you dwells the divine and inextinguishable flame of love from which you were created, but from which you have hidden, and which is consequently forgotten knowledge, but nevertheless, knowledge that every single one of you possesses. It is that deep inner knowing that drives you to seek love. However, you all seek it defensively. That is, you want others to show their love for you before you are prepared to show love for them. In other words, most choose conditional love because, due to previous experiences within the illusion, they have been betrayed, maybe many times, and so offer love only on condition that it is returned and never betrayed. Consequently what you seek is never found, and all are disappointed and disillusioned. Well, an illusion can only be disillusioning. There are some among you who have seen the light and have started to live lovingly, and they have been amazed at the transformation that has occurred in their life experiences as a result of that wise and wondrous choice. To live lovingly or unlovingly is a choice that you make in every moment. And to live lovingly appears to many to be an invitation to others to take advantage of them. In fact, this is not the case. It takes courage initially to make the choice for love, but the rewards are almost instantaneous. By making that choice and following through with a strong determined intention to be loving, you drop your defenses, and when your defenses are down, love comes flooding in. Yes, of course there are still a multitude of fearful and therefore unloving souls out there, but you, having made the choice to be loving and then having followed up by being loving, will discover that your energy field attracts what it is offering, love. Many with major problems in their intimate relationships have been blessed to obtain help from psychotherapists who are at the forefront of the field of interpersonal relationships. These psychotherapists have been able to persuade at least one of the parties in a damaged relationship to drop their defenses and offer only love. The results are often seemingly miraculous because the other party finds acceptance instead of judgment, and then ceases attacks on the partner. Communication is re-established, and the issues that were driving them apart, in fact tearing them apart, can then be gently and lovingly resolved. Frequently the issues are just misunderstandings that have been blown out of all proportion due to errors in communication or due to lack of communication, and a loving and satisfying relationship is then re-established. Some of you wonder about the food you eat. How can it be acceptable to eat meat and dairy products? Well, the game that you are engaged in, the game you are playing is a game that all the participants have chosen to take part in. All have lessons they wish to learn. There is an order to the food chain, and those at the more evolved levels need to feed on the orders below. As you know, the further down the food chain you look, the vaster the quantity of food edible life forms that is present. Until you fully awaken, this food chain will necessarily support you, and the other life forms on the planet. So, if you choose to eat meat and dairy products, this is not wrong. However, you must honor those that live to feed you. You do this by absolutely ensuring that all life forms are treated with honor and respect. That is done by ensuring humane, that is loving, living conditions are provided for those that provide your food so that they can enjoy their lives in an environment that is appropriate to their needs. When it comes to the time to slaughter them, to place them into the food chain, it is essential to ensure that the animals are taken gently and caringly to the place in which the slaughter occurs. It must be a place that is kept clean and fresh, and that is well ventilated so that the energy field of previous slaughters has totally dissipated before they are led in there. Then the slaughter must be done quickly and painlessly. Before eating, always bless your food and give thanks to the animals who have given themselves so selflessly to sustain you. They, unlike you, do not judge, they accept what arises, and when treated well enjoy their lives to the full. That is part of the lesson that the illusion offers. Humanity too needs to learn to accept what arises, and with love. Attack in any form is a desperate cry for love. Of course, mostly the attacker has so buried his true feelings that when he attacks he is convinced that he is defending himself against an unwarranted attack, an attack that threatens his life and his livelihood. Defense and attack are inseparable, two sides of the same insane issue. Only love will bring peace. Love starts within yourselves. Many of you were to some extent unseen, unwanted, found not good enough, or abused as children, and that treatment led you to believe yourselves to be unworthy and unlovable. This belief is utterly wrong. God's message to you, delivered through many messengers and in many forms, is that you are loved, that you are unconditionally loved because He created you perfect to live eternally with Him in everlasting joy. The separation is unreal, an unpleasant dream or terrifying nightmare from which you will awaken. The path to that awakening goes within, to the deepest level of your awareness, and then even deeper. You get there by spending time quietly alone, by letting all thoughts and distractions, emotional, psychological, or physical, just flow by without engaging with them. You may well be very surprised by some of the stuff that floats into your minds. Observe it, acknowledge it, and let it pass. Later, it may be sensible to look at some of the stuff that arose, and see if it is inappropriately coloring your attitudes and beliefs, for instance encouraging you to believe in your unworthiness or unlovableness. In that case, remind yourselves that because you are, and always have been, and always will be divine children of God, you remain perfect, just as He created you, and that therefore you are completely lovable. From that moment of insight, make a point of treating yourselves lovingly in every moment, regardless of what appears to be happening in the outside world. Another's judgment of you will always be invalid. With God's help, and that is always available to you, you can see anything that you may need to change about any of your ingrained beliefs and behaviors, while at the same time forgiving yourselves for any errors or mistakes you appear to have made. There is only love. You, therefore, are love. It really is that simple, and as love you are infinitely loving and lovable. Keep reminding yourselves of this divine truth and rejoice in the peace and contentment it provides. With so very much love, Soul.